What is good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all so you get notified as soon as we drop in latest content on the channel. So let's get into this one. So this Saturday gone, we had some action in America where we saw the return of Vergil Ortiz. Now, Vergil Ortiz is one of these prospects that alongside Jerron Boots Ennis. Vergil Ortiz was also another guy that's very highly touted in America, highly touted prospect. He's a Mexican American, I believe, and he was in action. He's had a lot of health problems and stuff. So this was return to the ring after quite a while. I want to say, I don't know, it could have even been more than a year now. So it was good to see Vergil Ortiz back. And he was back in there against a guy from Ghana, Fredrick Lawson. I think he'd only had 3 losses on his record. Obviously, he's a guy that has never really fought on, sort of world-class level, this Lawson. But fair enough to him. He comes into it, only 3 losses. A good opponent for Ortiz to come back against. I think this guy, he had a broken jaw in one of his fights a while ago, a couple of years back. But he's quite tough, durable guy. And so we went into this fight fully expecting Ortiz to win, which is what happened. Excuse me. And, he does it in the first round, which on paper, that's very impressive. And first round here, he boxed well behind his usual high guard. He wasn't shy to let his hands go. Lawson come out also behind the high guard, very tucked up, very tightly, and not letting much get through. But Ortiz was still able to punch sort of through the guard and around the guard, and he was clever in what he did. His jab was looking good. Ortiz was looking quite sharp. You could tell he was very happy to be back. And, unfortunately, I would say even for Ortiz, because I think he needs the rounds, the fight was stopped when he was just sort of getting going, because there was a point where, okay, both guys throwing shots. You could tell Ortiz was coming out on top. And there came a point in the round where Ortiz gets Lawson on the ropes. And as you do as boxers, amateurs and pro, you cover yourself up. So all that was happening, Ortiz was loading, looking for the body, looking to find the gaps in his guard and just letting his hands go, Ortiz. Lawson, he wasn't throwing much back, but you could see that he wasn't like badly hurt. He wasn't on his way down to the canvas or anything. He was just covering up and sort of trying to avoid the punch. He was trying to weather the storm, is what I would say. Fredrick Lawson was trying to do. He never really looked like he was going to win the fight. Obviously, most people expected Ortiz, and Ortiz was winning that round while it lasted. And, the referee just jumps in there. And, it's another bad performance, I think, for Tony Weeks there, because Tony Weeks is the same one who, we'll talk about in another video, but Tony Weeks is the same one who refereed Rolando Rolly Romero against Ismael Barroso. And that was a fight where, I don't know which one of these is worse. I suppose this might be worse because it's early. The man going to get a chance, really. But Ismael Barroso winning the fight against Rolly Romero, he takes a couple of shots and then it gets waved off. And a lot of people are saying, wow, this is just out and out corruption. But here we saw it again, where he didn't need to jump in. I mean, Lawson wasn't on his way down. He wasn't even really shaken too badly. He might have got shaken, he might have got knocked down, anything might have happened, or he might have got off them ropes and fought back. But we'll never know. So it was a decent performance by Vergil Ortiz. But me personally, I think, although I believe he would have won this fight regardless if it stopped early or late, whatever, he maintains his 100% knockout record. But I personally think he would have just benefited from boxing more rounds. I think he's been laid off for such a long time with his health and everything that I would like to have seen him. You know, you do at least 5, 6 rounds or whatever, you know, and then you get your man out of there. But you could tell he was just warming up, just getting into the fight, and you know that's kind of been taken away from him. And of course, for Lawson, he doesn't get his opportunity to really defend himself. He's stopped early. But anyway, so that's what happened in the fight, premature stoppage. After the fight, there was a kind of sort of honourable back and forth between Vergil Ortiz and TIMTSZYU, who's a champion there at 154 pounds, light middle, super welter, depending on what you want to call it. And, you know, TIMTSZYU said, yeah, welcome to 154. You know, we could do this. This would be an instant classic. So TIMTSZYU's definitely up for it, and Vergil Ortiz has been, you know, he said, I'm up for it too, sort of thing. I personally, I'd love to see that fight, but I think, really, I think Vergil Ortiz, that's his first fight at the weight, so I would rather see, you know, I think Vergil Ortiz needs at least a couple of fights where he gets some rounds and he faced a bit of opposition, he faced a bit of resistance. Yeah, you know, he needs, I think, a little bit more in terms of rounds, a couple of fights, and then you jump in with a guy like TIMTSZYU and see how you get on. But I'd love to see it. Even if they did say it's next, I'd love to see that fight. But I think for Ortiz, he just needs a few more rounds and to sort of get acclimatized and accustomed to light middleweight limit. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Premature stoppage, but obviously the right man won. Let me know your thoughts about Ortiz. Referee stops fight against Fredrick Lawson, first round. Let me know your thoughts. Until next time, it's MKO Pugilism, over and out.